Hello, guys, and welcome to the Laws of Enchantress. Thank you guys for being here. This is my discussion on Camilla. And the reason I chose Camilla is because anyone can be Camilla. If you are healed, if you are confident, and if you are truly a feminine woman. As we all know, Prince Charles married the gorgeous Princess Diana when she was super young. I think she was like 19. And I put these pictures, I searched for these pictures, took me a while to show you the body language. A lot of people say, oh, Prince Charles wasn't in love with Diana and he wasn't happy. Actually, Prince Charles broke up with Camilla to see Diana. And even though he did care for Camilla prior, he was looking forward to his life with Diana. If you take a close look at these pictures, the body language never lies. Even if you want to rewind this picture, rewind it to the beginning, you can clearly see that there was something going on in terms of chemistry in the earlier pictures. And that's why I searched really hard to find them because I wanted to see what was the chemistry like when they were young. What was the chemistry like when things were, kind of okay in the beginning? What you have to understand is that Camilla was a charmer and she was very focused and she got what she wanted because she planned every aspect of her life. When I read several books, I saw how she didn't even marry Charles the first time around. She chose to marry her rich admiral officer husband. And that was the first husband that she was with. That was the first guy. But ever since she was young, Prince Charles could not resist her charms. Throughout her life, the Duchess of Cornwall has dealt with the reputation of being the third person. And not only that, she dealt with the reputation of being unattractive, not appealing. She met Prince Charles back in 1970 when they were having a polo match at Windsor. And the two were immediately attracted to each other. Now, taking a look at her, she is not the most beautiful woman, but that's why I chose her. Too many of us think we have to be absolutely perfect to charm a guy. Too many of us think that we have to have everything from A to Z to charm a guy, and that is not true. Whether you like it or not, Prince Charles was a prince, and many, many beautiful women wanted him. He had many girls. He wasn't just longing for Camilla, he had plenty of girls. But what was it about Camilla? So even after meeting Charles, and Charles was infatuated with her, you should know that she married Andrew Parker Bowles. That's who gave her her name. A powerful British Army officer who had previously dated Prince Charles' um, younger sister. So the man that she married dated Prince Charles' younger sister. She had a history of doing this. All right, former boarding school classmate of Camilla once said that Camilla was planned. She said she was very planned in landing a rich husband, and that was the top of her agenda. So when you see women coming out like this, they're strategic. They know exactly what they want and they put it in their mind. So even her first marriage to Andrew Parker in 1973 was planned. Landing a rich husband was the top of her agenda. And she wanted to marry well, because in her mind, that would be most fun of all, marrying well. In the meantime, Prince Charles formally meets 16-year-old Diana Spencer while he was in a relationship with her older sister. So, what you have to understand is that Diana's older sister was also dating Charles. And guess what? Charles dumped Diana's older sister and began courting Diana in 1980. The two sisters remained close despite their relationship with Charles. That's kind of weird, right? But this is to prove to you that there was an actual relationship between Diana and Charles. There's too much stigma saying that, you know, Charles just married her, random virgin. Absolutely not. Take a good look at the pictures in the slideshow. We all know body language doesn't lie. There was body language there, there was chemistry there. He picked her. If it was just anyone, he would have stayed with her older sister. Remember, he was dating Diana's older sister, and he chose Diana. So that's something that's really important to know. So when Charles and Diana got married, I think it was 1981, July 29th at St. Paul's Cathedral. It was a big ass fairy tale wedding. And if you look at their body language, they don't look awkward. They had a nice little wedding going on there. If you look at the wedding, they don't look bad. They're leaning on each other. They're smiling on each other. They're blushing on each other. And, it wasn't until 1986 that Charles and Camilla resumed their longtime love affair. So what you have to understand is that Camilla worked for that. She wasn't royalty. Remember, she was not royalty, Camilla, but she stayed in that circle. She kept herself around his circle. All the while she was married. Camilla was married while she was doing this seduction because she said, whoa, Charles would be a better trade-in than her officer husband. So there's even a moment in 1989 when Diana confronted Camilla at a party and said to her, what's going on between you and Charles? And Camilla said, man, you got everything you wanted. You got all the men in the world to fall in love with you. You got 2 beautiful children. Camilla was like, what more do you want? Diana's like, shh, I want my husband. So for anyone who thinks that this was a prearranged marriage and, it was not a big deal that Camilla ended up with Charles, that's completely not true. Camilla was very calculating in getting Charles. She became confident in getting Charles. So how is she a seductress? What you have to understand as an enchantress, seduction and enchanting is 2 different things. Enchanting is a magical spell. Seduction is more of a sexual seducing. And she did both. First of all, she knew Diana was much younger and a virgin. She didn't have the sexual experience. And there's a part where, Charles expresses his sexual desire for her. Sure enough, she's doing things to him in the bedroom where he asks to be her tampon. It's really gross. And the reason why I'm so impressed with Camilla is because she goes against everything society says a woman cannot be or have to get a man like Charles. She was not attractive. She was not that slim by Becky's standards. She was not loved. She wasn't adored by public or the family. And she wasn't younger. There was nothing. She was divorced. She had 2 kids. So taking a look at this, it is almost impossible for anyone just to say, well, he was in love with Camilla first. Women, wake your ass up. How many men fall in love with their wives first and leave their wives for mistress? I'm going to say it again. How many men fall in love with their wives first and leave their wife for a younger mistress? This was the other way around. This was unheard of. This is why, to this very day in England, just talking about Camilla brings up anger and disgust. It brings up so much things because that was just not supposed to happen. Not the pretty, young, beautiful fairy tale. That's not supposed to happen. But it happened. And to this day, people are boggled. But one thing I can tell you, what made Camilla a master enchantress is she used what she had. She knew she wasn't going to be beautiful like Diana with the big blue eyes and those perfect lips and the cheekbones. She knew she wasn't going to ever have that princess appeal. So she focused on her charisma. People were drawn to her. It was said that men, not just Charles, Camilla had a lot of lovers because she knew how to enchant men just by being herself, by being extremely, extremely comfortable in her skin. And this is what I want for Black women. This is what you should want for yourself. We're never going to be perfect. And not only that, it's just now recently that ideas of Black beauty is getting social acceptance and still not acceptance on us. We see who gets accepted for the big booty and the big lips and the hips, anything but Black. As long as it's not on a brown skinned woman, it's going to do extremely well. A la Kim Kardashian, a la Jennifer Lopez, a la Iggy Azalea. Even when you go on Instagram, you'll see the girls that got all the surgery and they're white with 3 million followers, and the Black girl with the natural body probably have 200,000. But that's just the way it is. So this is an important message just for Black women. because you can use your charm. You can use your draw, your appeal. You can use your warmth and femininity, but you have to have 200% confidence. Let me tell you something. If y'all don't remember, Camilla was tortured in the press. She was trolled times 10 in the press. I am not exaggerating. They made fun of her. They said it looks like Prince Charles with his mother. They terrorized this woman. Terrorized because she was a mistress and she wouldn't back down. And on top of that, she wasn't pretty. She was divorced. She was older. She didn't have the body. I mean, clearly putting Diana next to Camilla. And it's not like Diana was a bad person. He was courting Diana since she was 16. He dumped Diana's older sister to be with her. This was not no prearranged. I never saw her, never touched her, never kissed her. There's plenty of pictures of Princess Diana with Prince Charles kissing and hugging, going to polo matches, traveling together, tons of engagement pictures. He chose this woman. It wasn't forced upon him. Tend to what people think. And he knew. It wasn't like not marrying Camilla was a shock. He knew as a prince, prospectively the next king of England, that he was not going to be able to marry an older divorced woman with 2 kids. So it's not like it was some heart-stopping appeal. The truth is, he got hit, son. He got hit with an enchantress. Dun, 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 dun. Look what she did. Look at Diana walking. Look at this picture. Diana is walking with Camilla. Diana asked Camilla not to come to the wedding. Camilla sat there. All the while, Camilla's like, I'm going to get that man. How many people have confidence like that when the whole world is making fun of you? When the whole world is laughing at you? When the whole world is calling you ugly, old, decrepit? When the beautiful bride is standing there with the man you want, can't even say love because she's strategic, kissing her hand, big ass wedding dress, big ass veil, standing on that freaking castle cliff, holding her hand with that big ass blue stash across his chest. And you still look there and say, it's all right, I'm going to get him. You have them kids for him. I'm not having no more. That's exactly what Camilla did. And the book that I read revealed the tactics she used. Remember, she didn't marry Charles. If she truly loved Charles, she would have stayed single. She met her first husband after she met Charles. He was a very wealthy and powerful military man. Very wealthy and powerful. She made that choice. But when she thought about it, she said, a prince might be a look up. Look at the body language between Prince Charles and Diana. Watch this video again. Look at the pictures. Look at the way she looks at him. These were people that had feelings. Them 2 kids didn't come from air. But Camilla was very calculating. They said Camilla knew what she wanted. Camilla knew what she wanted. It's not like, it's not rocket science. But how can we as Black women use that? First of all, you need to write down in an Enchantress notebook, what are your best qualities? Is it your smile? Is it your sense of humor? Is it the way you walk? Are you a good listener? Are you a good supporter? Do you know how to make him laugh? In a lot of these pictures, when I see Prince Charles with Camilla, he's often laughing and cracking up. Like in this picture, he is having a good time. He's just laughing. You have to focus. I don't care if it's a piece. I don't care if it's a tiny piece. You have to focus and really focus on what it is that you have as an enchantress. Imagine if Camilla did what we did today. I gotta be perfect. Perfect body, perfect booty. Then imagine how ridiculous Camilla would have looked impersonating a younger woman, impersonating Diana. It would have been really pathetic. They said in the book, what Camilla had was chutzpah, that she had a magic spell, and that's how she won Prince Charles's heart. So even though the whole society was calling her ugly, even though the entire society, the press, the media, the royal family, Camilla had no support. And the only way you could be an enchantress is that her feminine core is titanium and platinum. Her feminine core, that means inside of her, is solid, unbreakable. That's the only way. That's the only way. It was said Camilla, Duchess of now Cornwall, has a magnetism all her own. And Prince Charles wasn't the only one who felt the pull. Many people noticed how men always congregated around her. Not just her, not just Charles. So you have this woman who is not socially attractive, not young. There's nothing about her, but she's giving off that vibration. That's why we're doing the law of Enchantress. Camilla was whole inside, unshakable, confident. And many of us are not that confident. Many of us, if somebody says something to us, somebody attack us, we crumble, we fall apart. I think some of you listening to this may know that I'm not like that. You have to be sure of yourself. You can have moments of weakness, but the majority of you should be steadfast. Steadfast. Because if you don't do that, if you don't have that, people will be very eager to tear you down and destroy you. And destroy you. Men always congregated around her. Clearly, when people meet her, she has that magical air about her. She has a magic spell that draws people in. And that's a quote from a book called A Greater Love. And it says what she had was chutzpah, like she had magnetism. So she studied the people around her. She engaged them. It wasn't a mistake. But once again, at the very core of it, it takes rock solid confidence. And that's what you're listening to this, that's what you need, that's what I need, that's what we all need. Too many times as Black women, we look in the mirror and the first thing we do is to look for the things that we don't have. The first thing we do is focus on negativity. Negativity, negativity, negativity. And I'm telling you right now, if this woman can break up this marriage between the prince and her, if this woman was able to do this, what can you do? She was able to do this successfully and get him enthralled. And I hate when people say, oh, but he loved her before. How many men leave their wife and kids for a younger woman? How often is it that we see a man leave his wife and kids for an older, less attractive, divorced into? It doesn't happen. And you know why it doesn't happen? Because most women rely on external factors. Most women rely on external factors. I'm going to say it again. Most women rely on this. That's all Diana was. She was a gorgeous woman, an amazing woman, but she had a big vulnerability, which was insecurity. She wasn't used to being in the camera. She wasn't used to being in the royal family. You know, Charles and that. Come on, she was a child. And she never truly accepted that role. She never tried to learn how to maneuver people around her. She never tried to learn to play the game. And it's a game. And that game takes rock solid confidence. And that's why I was so eager to make this course and make these videos just for you guys. Because I see amazing potential in you. In majority of Black women, all Black women. But too bad we're focusing on what we don't have. I can't do this and I can't do that and I'm too fat and my stomach. Woman, go out there and make it. You think if you're beautiful, that's it? That is bull. There are drop dead, gorgeous women getting dumped. As I'm speaking to you, somebody getting dragged. As I'm speaking to you, there's some female crying because her man's leaving her. If you have a man of means, that means beautiful women is nothing to him. I'm going to say it again. If you have a man of means, that means beautiful women are absolutely nothing to him. You got to listen to me. He has access to 12 of you, 50 of you, 60 of you. So what do you do? What do you do? How do you do it? And no one's going to tell you these secrets. No one's going to tell you. It's about you. Loving yourself, engaging yourself, being comfortable in your own skin, charming people with the essence and the unique brand that is you, revealing yourself. But it takes a healthy confidence. It takes mental health. So how do we get there? How did Camilla get there? From Camilla was a child in one of the books. She was very smart, first of all. She was very highly educated, so that helps. So as a young girl, she realized that she was never going to have the soft oval face of Diana. As a young girl, I'm talking about her teens, talking about 14, 13. This is why they win, because they don't play around. She said, okay, I need to find my card. I got to find my ace. So she was very engaging. She said she was said to be very funny. She was very into things that men in those areas would be into. She liked polo matches. Meanwhile, Diana was purely feminine, just like Camilla. But Camilla was versatile. She was well versed in the laws of communication. And I say laws because they are specific laws in terms of seduction and enchanting on how to speak to men. I had to learn the hard way. No, you don't want to mimic him and become an extension, but you want to be able to engage him in a conversation. There has to be something unique when he's in your presence that he's not getting from anybody else. And I'm not talking about sex. There has to be something you do for his ego. Do you boost him up? Do you tell him he's amazing? Do you make him laugh? What's your goal? Do you make him smile? Is there something you can share with him? In the book, it said that Charles felt like the only person he could talk to was Camilla. She was the only person that understood him. She was the only one that listened to him and made him feel like, his words mattered. That is empowering for a woman. Because basically, she's the only one that respects him as a man. So if you're with a guy and you can't big him up and you can't empower him and you can't make him feel like a man, you're with the wrong guy. Because I hear girls right now, but he ain't worth all that. Then get one that is. Get one that is. Have a strategy. Camilla knew what she was doing. Camilla was married during this whole affair. That's what people forget. Camilla had a man this entire time. It's not like she didn't have a man. She had a man. But she looked and said, I think Prince Charles might be an upgrade, even though she married rich. People describe Camilla as gentle and honest. Those are two strong forces. Gentle, very soft and feminine, but honest takes some type of leadership. She had a balance to her. She faced heavy criticism for her role in the demise of Charles and Diana's wedding. There's even people that blame Camilla for killing Diana, saying that if they were married, she would never have been with Dodi Al-Fayed. You know how Prince Charles died in that Prince Diana died in that car crash. So it's very sad, and it's you have to understand the amount of confidence it takes. And that's why I made this Enchantress series. And that's why the first video I did, I don't know which one y'all gonna watch, but the first video I rushed to do was Camilla. Because she is the biggest enigma ever. And I was so surprised how many people say, oh, but he loved her first. That is not the whole story. He was dating Diana's older sister. He dumped Diana's older sister, which is kind of weird, to date Diana. He went after Diana while Camilla was married. Camilla stopped seeing him in 1970, got married to another man she thought could do better for her. Very rich, wealthy, well-connected admiral officer in the military. Later on decided, I made a mistake. I want Charles. And kept herself in that circle, kept herself connected. Wasn't an easy battle. Diana wanted her husband. Diana wanted Charles. It wasn't like she was like, it's just a sham marriage. In the beginning, if you look in the very beginning of this marriage, you can see the body language. You can see the flirting. You can see the smiles. And you can just tell when he's back with Camilla. The body language is harsh. And what's crazy is that Camilla is a player. She left Charles the first time they were dating. I hope you guys know that. She chose, for some reason, she thought the admiral, the guy that she married, there you go, there goes Camilla. That's the guy she married before Prince Charles, after she met Prince Charles. So for those of you thinking that Camilla and Charles were together this whole time, absolutely not true. She chose to marry this guy because he was very wealthy, very connected, and that was a goal of her, to ensure she got married well. Because she wasn't sure if she would be the princess material. She knew she wasn't pretty enough. So she kind of kept that rich man as an anchor. She's strategic, ladies. She's thinking, ladies. I want you to realize what she did. She did not know if she would actually be able to grab Prince Charles, actually get a relationship with him beyond. So she secured the bag. She made sure she married somebody that she knew wanted to marry her and was extremely wealthy, extremely connected, and still kept her in that high regal circle. But then when she realized she was able to recover Charles, and that's a bigger bag, she said, shit, I'm going to do what I got to do. And they were in love. I looked at tons of pictures to do this course. You guys, me and so many people, we looked at tons of pictures. Look at them kissing. That's body language. You can't make that up. They couldn't predict they were going to break up. If you go through the scroll again, but you can tell the minute that he started having sex with Camilla. I believe the next picture coming up is one of the pictures that they took after they had a big blow up and it was heard. You can literally see the body language dramatically. Look at that body language. Look at the body language. They're completely away from each other. Big ass space. Backs are turned. Body language doesn't lie, guys. But when they were dating, when they were engaged, when they were all over each other. So I'm trying to tell you, Camilla did something. Too many people look at this and say, oh, she didn't do anything. Charles always loved bullshit. Charles had many women. Charles had a lot of women. It's even rumored he was with Barbara Streisand. He's a prince, guys. Wake up. Wake up. And remember, after they met in 1970, Camilla and Charles, Camilla was like, let me secure this guy first because he's very wealthy. I'm not walking away from him. And when she decided, hey, I can trade him in. When she decided, hey, it takes confidence. Now, I'm not encouraging y'all to break up a marriage. That's not what I want. But I'm encouraging Black women to heal themselves, to go inward, to do daily meditations, to use the crystals, to connect to nature, to heal yourself. This was a couple that was in love. This was not a couple that was just thrown together and had no idea. He dated Diana from she was 16 years old. He dumped her older sister. But Camilla said, nah, chill. I'm going to trade in this Buick to get a Mercedes-Benz. And then the relationship had 3 people in it. And I'm telling you, some of you who may be very young may not remember how Camilla got dragged. She got trolled. If this woman did not have ironclad confidence, she would have fell apart. She would have been hiding, running, crying, depressing. But she said in her book, I will never give anyone that power. Is crying going to make somebody think better of you? Is being depressed, having anxiety, is worrying about people who are not going to change your opinion regardless, going to do anything for you? You have to rise above. Lioness, don't worry about the opinion of sheep. And that's what you have to decide. Are you a sheep or are you a lioness? And the people you're worrying about, they don't really care about you. Either way, you're just entertainment. As soon as the TV is off, the magazine's closed, they're going on with their life. Why aren't you? I mean, look at these pictures. Look at these pictures. And even after Camilla was married, and she used that to her advantage. She used her marriage. This is Camilla with Diana. And look at Diana's body language. She's holding her arms together. Her head is down. She's clearly uncomfortable. But the way she was able to maneuver into Charles's world with Diana right there was saying, I'm married. I have a husband. I moved on. She played her cards very well. And I want to give her some type of acknowledgement because for you to be an older woman, not the most attractive woman, the heavier woman, not the beautiful woman, the woman the press hated, the woman the royal family hated, the women the people of England hated. You have to understand what type of magnificent, enchanting, enchanter, enchantress persona it takes. And that's what I want for Black women. That is what this course is about. That's what these lectures are going to be about. It is time for the Black woman to rise. And it's not going to take external factors. It's going to take internal factors. The healing of the feminine sacred, the loving of self, the loving of inward energy, aligning your chakras, knowing what your chakras are, keeping positive things in the house, plants, flowers, making sure you see sunlight. I don't care if you work, making sure you get hit with direct sunlight. This was a couple in love. And I challenge anybody to look at this history and say, oh, what's this arranged marriage? He didn't want to be. People said that because they can't believe an older, bigger, unattractive, divorced, mother of two, commoner can take the man away from a beautiful, beautiful princess. They couldn't believe that. They don't want to believe it. So how do we get there, ladies? You probably listen to this like, nah, I don't want to take anybody's husband. It's not about that. It's about how do you do in the face of adversity. If you're listening to this right now, what happens if someone attacked you, called you ugly, said that you were stupid? What happens? What do you do when somebody attacks you, talks shit about you? Do you give them your power? Do you succumb? Do you get stressed out? Do you get angry and you can't let go of that anger? Well, I'm telling you right now, if you do that, you will never have ironclad confidence. Ironclad confidence. That is what Camilla had. She was invincible. She was unbreakable. And she was powerful because she did not allow the words of others to affect her. And she took that shit to the fucking bank. Any other normal woman? Press calling her ugly, saying she looked like a man, saying she looked like she's dressed in drag, saying she looks like Prince Charles' mother. You have to understand the headlines. And you also have to understand there was affection between Charles and Diana. There was affection. Don't let anybody tell you that he just met her off the, arranged and Diana was through in his face and he had to marry her. He had to do nothing. He was dating her older sister and he was attracted to her. He left Diana's older sister and took Diana. And Camilla was dating Charles's friend. That's Andrew Parker Bowles. And she hooked up with him. But when she realized, wait a minute, is there a chance? Wait a minute, can I have this? Can I have that? When she realized that, that's when she was like, I can do this. So if you're listening to this video, you're like, Connie, I get it. What can I do? Well, it starts with you, sweetie. What do you do for yourself every week that's nice? Tell me one thing you do for yourself that's outstanding every single week. It should actually be every single day, but I know many of you are just starting this course. What do you do for yourself? Do you buy yourself flowers? Do you take yourself out to a nice dinner? Do you go to movies? I'm talking about what you do for you. Do you go to the spa once a month, every 2 weeks? Do you get a massage? A facial? I don't know. Buy your favorite bottle of perfume. Because, ladies, you are a living and walking tower of vibration. It was said that when Camilla used to come home, she didn't have TV in her house. It was said that Camilla didn't read newspapers or magazines for years. It was said that she had a very concentrated small circle of friends that she gave strange rules to. They couldn't talk about anything negative, anything with the press. They couldn't ask. So she had friends in her life that she had to ignore. or friends that had to comply. How many of us are willing to do that? How many of us are addicted to negativity? How many of us engage in unnecessary negativity, even if it's not about you, even if somebody is trolling somebody else? How many of us love that tea? I know I'm a recovering tea addict. I am a proud recovering tea addict. Means that I used to love that tea. I used to sit there, love gossip, love all that, but that is toxic. Even if it's not about you, even if it's not affecting you directly, subconsciously, it's bringing negative energy, negative waves. When you see somebody have charisma, that's energy. A connection, that's energy. But there's different levels of it. Diana was able to connect to the world because of her external charisma. She had an innocence, those big blue eyes, the way she talked, the way she looked from under her brow and raised her eyes up like a puppy. That was her charisma. But that type of charisma doesn't really work on men unless you have a very sensual, sultry side, like Marilyn Monroe. And she didn't have that. She truly had a social charisma for the world, but not specifically towards men and gender. Don't get that twisted. Diana had lifelong problems, even after Charles, securing the bag. She never really had a boyfriend that truly loved her, only to the end, Dodi Al Fayed, the one who died. But even then, that relationship, people don't know. Was he serious? Was she not serious? Blah, 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 back and forth. Was she pregnant? Was she not pregnant? People just don't know. People don't know. But the fact is, Camilla took this man. And when I say took, she planned. She was married the entire time that she was with Charles after he was with Diana. And just take a look. Look at the pictures. Camilla is in the black, not very attractive. Strong jaw, pointy nose. Even when she was young, I tried to find young ass pictures. She still ain't look good. I was like, damn, look at her with Charles. Look at her. Take a good look at her. Looks like his mom. Look at his damn mother. But he doesn't see what we see. Look at him. He is totally in the essence of her. And that's what we have to learn, ladies. That's what we have to give off. And the only way you can do that is if you are committed. I'm telling you right now, some of y'all are not going to make it. Some of y'all are not going to make it. You're just not going to make it because you are addicted to negativity. I don't want to be negative, but I just got to be truthful to a certain point. Some of y'all will, that's all y'all know. You got to clear your space. You got to clear where you are, who you are. Son, you got to clear it. Camilla didn't have TV in her house. Camilla didn't have newspapers in her house. Camilla didn't allow friends to ask her or tell her, oh, son, you heard what they said about you? Oh, son, they made fun of you. She didn't engage. She didn't have a radio. She only focused on how she felt, how she made Charles felt, and what she believed she wanted out the future, what she believed she deserved, even though she courted this guy while she was married. And take a look at where she at now. Take a good look. She got the crown, son. She got the crown. She got what she wanted twice. She married two men of high caliber. Look at that woman. I know she old, but you can just see that she was never a looker. Her eyes is squinty. Her jaws is strong. Her lips is super thin. But that does not matter. And that's what I'm trying to tell black women. You may not be the perfect social fit. You're not going to look like Beach Blonde Bimbo. You're not going to look like her. But that's where we get too hung up. We get too insecure. Do whatever makes you feel beautiful, by the way. I'm not here to tell you to do what you want to do with your looks. But if you do what you want with your looks and you still feel like you're running short, don't you ever. Because you got to focus on the inside. And once you heal the inside, once you align the energies, once you focus and you train those energies, that can take you everywhere. It said Camilla was a big fan of meditation. It's a big secret. She was a big fan of yoga. It was a secret. And she avoided areas where she knew people were talking about her. She did her best to avoid gossip. Remember, in the 12 years, there wasn't really much scandal. There wasn't anybody coming forward that knew Camilla that blew her up while she was doing all this grimy shit. She didn't have a bunch of snitches, nothing, because she controlled her circle. And that's what I want for you. That is what I want for you. And now look, the fairy tale romance that started out pretty well. Diana and Charles both said in the beginning of their marriage they were happy. And then things fall apart. It wasn't things fall apart. You got hit with the charisma. And that's why it's so important for you. Listen to me. Your man has to worship you. He has to worship you. I'm going to say it again. If your man is not totally immersed in you, obsessed with you, chasing you, wanting you, desiring you, coveting you, you are leaving space for another woman, whether you like it or not. Because if he's completely immersed in the essence that's you, nobody can take him away. But Diana, she was too young. She didn't know about all that. She didn't know that there was a freaking Enchantress times 10. She had no idea. Most men like Charles can get a younger wife, a prettier wife. He didn't care. He's completely enthralled, completely pulled in. Look at the coordination. He's wearing red lapels and she's wearing a red dress. That is what I'm saying. The law of Enchantress teaches you to use the best of you. And you decide what makes you feel the best. You decide what makes you feel comfortable. But it starts with you. Do you really think that Camilla would have been successful? Listen to this. If she had low self-esteem, do you think she could have tolerated the press, the royal family, the queen, Diana's family, the people, the English people, the magazines? Everything was against her in every single possible way. You're older, you're fat, you look like his mom, you're unattractive, you're divorced, you got 2 kids. Look who's laughing now, son. They both laughing. They're saying, these nuts, these nuts, these royal nuts. But that's why I wanted to talk about Camilla. Because I noticed that Black women, more than any other woman on the planet, likes to pick herself apart. You need to see images of women that are doing this. Look at the little player, Camilla. That's Camilla marrying her first husband. Take a look at the screen. Look at Charles looking stupid. She left Charles because probably he was more handsome, which he was. I think his name is Andrew, right? That's what I said. And he was very connected, extremely wealthy family. But when she thought she could trade up, she traded up. And we look at Diana. Diana was even if you don't think she's pretty in that way, to that culture, to those people, to the people of England, she was an epitome of beauty, elegance and grace and innocence that England wanted. She's a typical English beauty. Big blue eyes, straight nose, small lips but not thin, blonde hair, demure. Just look at the contrast of these women at the same time period. Just take a look at Diana and look at Camilla, and you're gonna tell me that this woman's not an enchantress? You're gonna tell me that you can't have everything that you want? You're gonna tell me you're gonna limit yourself? Look at your stomach, look at your fat, or look at whatever you don't have? You're gonna tell me, come on, you gotta get that ironclad confidence. And the way you do it, you're gonna meditate on yourself. Every morning, get up, give yourself, look at the comparison at the same time frame. Look at how Diana looked and Camilla looked at the same time. And y'all gonna say, well, he loved Camilla first. Son, how many beautiful women are married to their husband and their husband straight up leave them or cheat on them? Y'all acting like a man don't fall in love and leave his wife every single day. There was something about, look at this woman compared to the woman that we just saw. There was something about Camilla. And that something was something she knew since she was a child. They said since high school, since she was 16. They found an old boyfriend of hers and went back and they asked the old boyfriend. They said that she has a lot of magnetism. That girl knew that she knew how to be social. She had communication skills. She made men laugh, Men felt comfortable around her. Men dropped their barriers around her. When she talked to men, just like how Charles said, he felt like that was somebody he could connect to. That was her strength. And the reason why Camilla is so important, especially for Black women, is because we live in a society that says we're not the number one in features. We do. America's a kind of a challenged country. They take our lips, they take our hips, they take our butt, and they put it on lighter skin. So what can we do? We can use our inner charisma. We can use our inside. We can use what Camilla used. Look how she's laughing. Look at the prince. He is cracking up. He looks like he's about to pass out a lung here. He's red. He's laughing. And if you notice, a lot of the pictures that you see Camilla and Charles, from the old to the new, a lot of them, they're side gut splitting laughing. And as much as I'm not telling you to be an enchantress, don't take care of your body. I'm not telling you to be an enchantress, don't wear perfume, don't work out. That's not what I'm saying. Do everything possible you can do to look and feel your best, because it's all about you. But not everybody going to be born looking like Cindy Crawford or Tyra Banks. Look at them laughing. Look at these pictures. They're grinning. She uses her laughter to make her more beautiful. She uses her, because Charles sees her as the most beautiful thing in the world, because she got him in that enchantress mode. And the only reason she's able to do the enchantress is because she is ironclad confidence. She disconnects, she keeps away, she keeps her stuff. Look at that family. Look at the body language. Look how Diana is shifted over on Charles. Look at her knees. Look at her feet. Her knees are towards him. Look at how his knees is towards her. They're touching. This was a marriage. This was a marriage. And it doesn't matter about your external beauty. It doesn't matter if your inside is not superior or matching. It doesn't matter if you look great in a white dress or you look good in a black dress. It doesn't matter if you are Princess Diana. If you get a woman that has ironclad confidence, she can conquer the world. If you get a woman that is impenetrable to hate, to insults, to scorn, to negativity. If you get a woman that is literally invincible, you can take down a princess. You could take a prince from a princess. Thank you guys for listening. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Too bad, Princess Diana. Too bad.